Yeah, so as part of basically Ignite guideline, you're not supposed to allow any brand name or a logo on the slides. And when they sort of pointed out, this is what I've done. So you can't see, did I say can't see? Of course you can see, but you can't decode what was written there. And I think that's how we think between the visually challenged people and the normal people. And this is how all of us have learned alphabet in our life, right? Very visually. A for apple, B for bat, those kind of things. And this is what visually challenged or blind kid learns, the way they learn the alphabet. It's a very dot, very linear. There is no cognitive sort of imagery attached to it. And let's see how big is the problem. So globally, if you look at, there are around 250 million visually impaired people. Out of them, 36 are completely blind, so they can't see anything. So that's the sort of scale we are talking about. Interestingly, 25% of that lives in India. And if you go down to the kids, there are approximately 1.4 million blind kids which are below 40. So those are the kids which are at a learning age where you need something to support them to learn. And interestingly, again, 50% of them lives in India. Only 1/3 of them have access to schooling, and even less of them has got access to Braille teacher, right? Then in tech-driven world, while Braille we are talking about, but there's enough work which has been done which talks about the correlationship between Braille and employability. And that's where the thought started. How do we make the learning Braille interesting? How do we add a sensory dimension to learning the Braille? And how do we sort of add something which is add-on, which is getting the fine motor coordination when they are sort of learning? So this is the thought I'm going to talk about, to build an ecosystem for a learning Braille for visually impaired kids, making it a more playful learning experience. And so let's see how it does. It started with this idea from an NID student on a design. This is the core design basically. So each word is a shape, and it's like a Lego-inspired kind of structure. So when you put together the words, the shape comes to the life. And they can touch and feel the entire shape and learn the alphabet. So it's an open source environment which has been created where all the alphabets are now ready. It's a 3D printing design available for anybody to download. You go to a website, download, and print anywhere you want to do. So once you print, this is the kind of imagery which come together. Especially in Indian context, we noticed there the 3D printers are not available. So in Hyderabad, we are printing in some of the centers and giving out. And now government also has come forward and taking 1,000-odd fetals, what we call it. There is a bit of evolution on, and that's we are thinking on it, is more on the 3 dimensions. How do we make more complete 3-dimension shapes around it? And this is a work in progress where we are making a more sort of holistic design. And China being a China, sort of, they have picked up some of this stuff, what we've been doing in open source, and they converted into a sort of learning toy. And the way they are promoting is, if you want to learn English, use this. And there is some kind of inspiration that we need to think about more inclusive design when we think of this. So this idea we started with the TEDx talk. TEDx has been sort of a big platform as to promote, and the Ravensburger, which is one of the large toy makers, has come on board. And I think one of the logo which you just missed was Cannes and the Woods. So this idea has won bronze in a Cannes last year, and a D&D Woods pencil. So these are 3 areas which is a focus for us now in terms of building a community, adding audio to the entire thing where you can, beyond sensory, they can listen to some of the images and sound. And lastly, we are looking at basically mobile app ecosystem to support that. Thank you.